Okay, well, hello. And my first sentence would be, I love business networking. I love business events. And those who know me know that I'm every twice or 3 times a week, I'm at a business event. And whether as a host, whether as a guest, whether as someone who grants awards, or whether someone who goes to political delegations and so on. And I have some kilometers behind me regarding, I was preparing this speech and I was asking myself, so what is it so important about business networking anyway? So why do we do it? Why do people do it? And this is, I think, the purpose. Because people would like to go to business networking to do business, to give out business cards, to meet people, to talk to people who came with the exactly same purpose to those business networkings as you did. So we know the real cases of those scenarios. It usually looks like this. But why? Why don't we make such events and such networkings that actually make it work? And the first golden rule would be prepare, prepare, and again prepare. Business networking should be like this. It should have a beginning, it should have a peak, and it should have a conclusion. And in the beginning, you greet all the participants. At the peak, you make a nice speech, and you make some comedian or some music act. And at the end, you make some catering and a pleasant networking event. But what we usually do is this. We mix and match everything together, try to squeeze in everything we know about business networking, try to make it work in a too complex way. But why do we want to stuff the participants with all those data, which is rather unnecessary? And make sure, if you do a business event, that you focus and that you follow a red line. Why is this important? Because when you would like to make an event, make sure that the people who come to those events will have a pleasant experience. And in case you don't organize it by yourself, you do the agency and you hire an agency to do that, you be aware that you approve these contents. The next thing would be timing. Timing is of crucial importance. You all know some events last forever and ever and ever, and there are speeches and there are lots of different scenarios and lots of different activities. But timing is crucial, because if you don't follow the timing, what happens is this. People start using their telephones, they start browsing, they start doing some different context, texting and mailings. And the next thing, therefore, would be focus, please. When you form a business networking, or if you do something that it should be pleasant for the participants, you have to focus. What did the people came for? They did come for a pleasant content and for the business cards and for meeting new people. Did you provide for that? I was just recently at one very interesting event, which happens periodically every year here in Ljubljana at Ljubljana Castle. And every year it's the same. We get the unpleasant surprise of 1.5 hours of some classical program. Okay, it's not that we don't enjoy the classical program, but the focus of this event are the awards, which are granted to young startups and companies. And the second thing is business networking. But what did the organizer do? We listened to 1.5 hours of some program. And we really enjoy some opera, some classical music, some plays. But if you're an organizer, invite people to the opera, and they will enjoy it. But don't invite them to business networking and then make an hour of an opera, because you usually get these results. Now we come to the next golden rule, and this is an unannounced speech. And from the back of the hall, I usually hear, "Oh, let it be short." And no matter how high the guest is, or if you have some guest speakers, please coordinate with them, say, be short, be effective. Because if you see a person like this, coming with a pile of paper, you see, oh, you will be reading for 1 hour. And what do you have from this? This. So pretty much be aware what the public will react on your organization and your preparation. Or this, of course. So, a little bit of humor always does the trick when making a speech. You can always spice it up a little bit. But now let's see what can happen if you are not too careful enough and you get a little bit too much of humor in your speech. Please.
Herstellung Würzstoffe zugesetzt worden sind, sofern dadurch der Charakter einer Ware dieses Kapitels nicht verändert wird. Klammer, zum Beispiel. Zum Beispiel Bündnerfleisch.
So what can happen? But nevertheless, being a professional and organizing it properly, you come to the next question, and this is the next golden rule. Is it all about catering? Okay, now you know that at business events you cannot resist, if it's a too long one, as you usually know, you cannot resist enormous piles of food waiting outside. So what you usually do, and when I usually go to business networking, I usually go with my purse. Why? Because my purse contains my business cards. And what is funny about caterings, of course, is that organizers don't focus about the content, but they would really like us to feel good with eating a lot of food. So second, what I grab is a plate. And it has a funny thing attached. You know what this is? This is a plastic device for you to be able to attach a glass. So then I take a glass because I would like to have a sip of nice wine, because the event was so long that I would like to have something interesting. And then I take my fork, knife, and of course a paper towel. And now I have a huge pile of meat here and some potatoes. And now I would like to eat this, but I usually don't have the right spot or right place to eat. And now a person approaches and says, "Oh, hi, I would like to get to know you. We know each other from Skype or something." And then I say, oh, yes, I would like to give you my business card. And then imagine, it would require me almost an acrobatic skill to handle this plate and these forks and also grab for my business card. So you see, as an organizer and of course as a good host, you won't do that to your participants. You would require a small catering, something, a finger food or something, and nobody will actually blame you for not making ice sculptures. So last but not least, being a good host does the trick. But not by any means a good host. So don't force yourself being a good host. And be just nice. Do what, for example, I do when I do some business networkings. I shake hands and I greet the participants when they come. And you give out your positive energy and you make them feel welcome, because you can choose whom you did invite. And your invitees are your people, are the guests with whom you would like to interact. So focus also on that. And make the most of it. Also, the organizer and the event is not just about the whole thing. It is also about you attending the event. And be aware what you do at those events, because people are watching you. And you and your behavior are your mirrors. And this can be the result of how people can see you, if you are not careful, what you're doing. Yeah, this is a good example of how careful you should be on your behavior. And be aware of the fact that the business networking is about business, nevertheless, and also a business event should result with a good business networking. But with networking, make sure that this net is really working for you and your guests. Thank you very much.